Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe. We've got the 3rd gen back in the garage. We're going to be doing some lighting upgrades on that this week with a company called Nilight. They have sent me a couple sets of lights, some wiring, some brackets, and we are going to be putting them on the 3rd gen in some light sizes that I have not used yet and some brackets that you may not have seen yet before either. So stay tuned. Yep, that's right. Like I said, we're going to be adding some lights. You can see I've already added some to the 3rd gen, as I usually do in the videos to make sure everything works. But we have some more lights. We're going to take a look at them. We're going to take a look at the wiring, and we're going to take a look at the brackets. We got some universal mount brackets that are pretty interesting, something you may not have seen before, I hadn't seen before, and I was interested to put them to use on the 3rd gen. Let's point the camera down at the workbench and take a closer look. So here are the lights. These are little 2 dual LED pods. They are smaller than your normal 3-inch square pods. These are 3-inch across by about 2 inches high, the body anyway, and about 2 inches deep. Aluminum case. Nice little lights. They're not real expensive, 30-40 bucks a set. I've been a fan of ditch lights, but I'm not always a fan of the big 3-inch pods that people put on them, and I think these are going to look really nice tucked up there on the side of the 3rd gen. So I've already got a set of those, already got a set installed. I have 2 sets. You may think that I have plans for those. I do. That'll be a different video. And we've got a full wiring harness from them. This one, it comes with all the terminals already on it, relay installed. And this one, yep, here it is, came with a switch. I got the Sasquatch switch. I had a Sasquatch switch in the 4th gen. We just kind of like the Bigfoots in the family. So we've got that. Not 100% sure if that is going to fit the way that I want into the 3rd gen dash, but it will get us up and running and we'll be able to take a look at those lights. They've also, of course, sent me a couple sets of brackets. These are interesting brackets. Stainless steel. I'll show you the other set once we get over to the 3rd gen 4Runner with the lights there already installed. Let me get the focus set a little bit better for you guys. We've got some rubber on the top and a hole there where you would mount the light with a bolt that came with it. I've got tons of hardware from them. And then on the back side, there's a bunch of these little Allen screws, and there's a little stainless steel piece that sits in there and essentially allows you to sandwich this bracket onto the side of your hood, top of a door, onto your hatch. Lots of places where maybe you couldn't mount a light without drilling into the body per se, or if you have a vehicle that doesn't offer aftermarket support for ditch light brackets, custom fit ditch light brackets, you could do basically what I've done on the 3rd gen. Of course, there are brackets offered for the 3rd gen, but it's kind of a neat thing. Let's go ahead and go over there and I'll show you the other set. Here are the lights already installed on my hood. More on that in just a second. But here's the bracket. Interesting design, slightly smaller in width than the other bracket, but you can see it swivels. It's got 360 all the way around, and then it's got this kind of dual hinge, well, single hinge, dual hinge with the light bracket, which allows you to basically mount anywhere 360, and then on applications that are not perfectly level, you can kind of articulate that. It's hard to show, I'm seeing here on the camera, but these lights are actually pretty level, and then I have them spit out to the side just a little bit, as you would do with ditch lights. But stainless steel brackets, stainless steel hardware, pretty neat design, really clever idea. I'll give them that. And then we'll just run the wiring down below the cowl. And I haven't had to trim any of the plastics up here. I think I did this in a rush, if I'm honest. I think I need to realign that one and tighten it back down. But I've been driving them around for a couple weeks, and they haven't moved, and they haven't gotten loose. So I'm pretty happy, really, with how they've turned out. I think they look pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get them wired up, and let's go see what they look like. Here's just a close-up of these brackets real quick. You can see how it has just pinched the side of the hood there, and I've got those 3 Allen screws tightened down, and it holds really, really well. I will say that when you are screwing the light, well, screwing the top part of the bracket rather, down that Allen screw right there in the middle. Make sure you're using the right amount of washers and stuff so that you don't put a dimple in your hood. The bracket itself has got like a recess in it, and the rubber covers it to help eliminate that, but you know, just user beware. It's only as good as the precautions that you take when you're mounting it. All right, we've got the wiring hooked up. You can see I've got my relay mounted here. I just mounted that to the fender with a bolt. You don't have to mount those. It's not like grounding it, but it's nice to have it up out of the way. And then I've got, let's see, a red wire and a black wire. They've already got terminals on them. Straight to the battery is pretty much the easiest way to do it with the pre-made hardware, and then you can turn those lights on whenever you want. The car doesn't have to be on. We've got the wiring that goes up here. It comes with the butt connectors, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about that. And across to the other side, you can't really see that, but same deal over there. I've got the wires coming down out of the hood, and then back over. And the hardest part is finding some place to run the wiring harness through the firewall. Usually there's a rubber grommet already where there's some wiring. There's one way down there. You can't even see it. To fish it through and then bring it up on the other side to the dash. There is the switch. I've got it all wired up. Turns blue when you turn it on, which is a nice feature. It's got I dropped it, of course, and put a nice chip in it. Awesome on me for that. But they do work. We need to wait for it to get dark now so we can go test them out. This, I was thinking that this would fit right in there. There is kind of some lip right in there that is preventing that. You could file that down or trim it with a Dremel. I don't know what I want to do because I don't know what other switches I'm going to run in here. I would really like to get a newer style push button switch from like a 4th gen, or I'm pretty sure the 5th gen ones are too short and fat, but the 4th gens should be close, and it's the same style. It's just a push button. I would really like to get one in there like that. So I think for the time being, I'm just going to leave it alone. I realize that's pretty awful, but until I figure out exactly what I'm going to do in the future, it's just going to have to be like that. All right, here's just the headlights on. These are just the terrible factory halogen headlamps. I'm going to go ahead and flip the driving lights on, or the ditch lights rather. I've got them aimed pretty good, I think, right now. Nice white light. It's so hard to film headlights, but I've got them facing towards the ditches, as you would. But yeah, really like the light. The video doesn't do it justice. It looks really, really good in person. So there we have it. There's a little quick shot from inside the car. Got them on, and let's go ahead and flip them off. Back on. Man, that's a huge difference just from those two little lights. Well, there you have it. Pretty simple, straightforward install. Wiring up those lights is just like wiring up any other set of lights. The wiring harness makes it pretty easy because all the ends are already installed. All you need to do is crimp those ends on the ends of the lights. As far as the ditch lights, you didn't have to take off any fenders or hood hinges or anything. You mount those right on there. I think they're cool. Kind of a little funky thing. And like I said earlier, if you've got a rig that doesn't have aftermarket support for those, ditch light specific custom-made brackets, pretty cool thing. And you could put them like on your hatch or on a roof rack or something. Pretty limitless bracket there. And the lights look good on the road as well. So I will go ahead and drop links down below over to those lights and the brackets and the harness and stuff. And like I said, I have another set of those lights for another project that we'll be working on in the future, a few videos from now, not right away. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and this is a lot of what we do. Cheap and easy DIY off-roading stuff. You can follow the links also over to my Instagram and my Facebook down below, where I post all of this, plus a lot more stuff, a lot more regularly. And of course, as usual, if you have any comments, leave those down below. Detailed information, conversation, feel free to email me anytime, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com. So until next Sunday and the next video drops, thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.